Did you know that 80% of your success comes from just 20% of your actions? Imagine if you could work less, stress less, and still achieve more. Sounds impossible. Well, that's exactly what the 80-20 principle by Richard Koch is all about. Stick around as we break down this game-changing book into actionable insights that will transform the way you work, live, and succeed. Segment 1. What is the 80-20 principle? Let's start with the basics. The 80-20 principle, also known as the Pareto Principle, was discovered by an Italian economist, Vilfredo Pareto, back in the 19th century. He found that 80% of Italy's land was owned by just 20% of the population. But this principle isn't just about wealth, it applies to almost everything in life. 80% of your happiness comes from 20% of your experiences. 80% of a company's profits come from 20% of its customers. 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. 80% of sales come from 20% of products. 80% of crimes are committed by 20% of criminals. 80% of website traffic comes from 20% of the pages. 80% of your time is spent with 20% of your friends. So, what does this mean for you? It means that if you focus on the right 20% of your efforts, you can achieve massive results with less work. Segment 2. How the 80-20 principle can change your life now. Let's apply this to real life. Here's how you can use the 80-20 rule to get ahead in different areas. Work and productivity. Identify the 20% of tasks that bring 80% of your success. Prioritize these. So delegate or eliminate the remaining 80% that don't contribute significantly. Business and money. Focus on the 20% of clients that bring in 80% of your income. Cut down on unnecessary expenses that don't bring much value. Relationships and happiness. Spend more time with the 20% of people who bring you the most joy. Reduce time spent on toxic relationships that drain your energy. Segment 3. Common misconceptions about the 80-20 rule. At this point, you might be thinking, so should I just ignore 80% of my work? Not exactly. The goal isn't to do less work, but to focus on what truly matters. Myth. 80% of your work is useless. Reality. Not all of it is useless, but it may not contribute much to your success. Myth. The 80-20 rule is fixed and applies exactly to all situations. Reality. It's a general guideline, not an exact ratio. Sometimes it's 70-30 or even 90-10. Segment 4. Practical steps to apply the 80-20 principle. So, how can you start applying this principle today? Here's a step-by-step approach. Step 1. Identify the 20% that creates 80% of results. Track your daily activities and find the ones that yield the highest returns. Step 2. Eliminate or minimize the 80% that doesn't add value. Cut unnecessary meetings, unproductive habits, or low-impact tasks. Step 3. Maximize the impact of the 20%. Spend more time and effort on your highest-yielding activities. Step 4. Automate, delegate, or outsource the low-value tasks. Free up your time for what truly matters. Step 5. Continuously reassess and refine. The 80-20 principle is a mindset, not a one-time action. Segment 5. Real-life success. Stories. Many successful people have unknowingly applied the 80-20 principle. Let's look at a few examples. Warren Buffett invests in only a handful of companies that yield the highest returns. Steve Jobs focused on a few great products instead of spreading Apple too thin. Tim Ferriss applied the principle in the 4-hour work week to maximize efficiency. Segment 6. The downsides of the 80-20 rule. Of course, no rule is perfect. Here are some potential downsides of the 80-20 principle. It's easy to oversimplify. Some tasks that seem unimportant might still be necessary. It can make you ignore small improvements. Sometimes small tasks add up over time. Not everything follows the 80-20 ratio. In some cases, effort and results are more balanced. The key is to use the 80-20 principle wisely. Focus on what matters most without neglecting essential responsibilities. So, to wrap things up, if you want to achieve more with less effort, start applying the 80-20 principle today. Identify the tasks, people, and habits that truly drive results and focus your energy there. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below with your biggest takeaway. And if you want more book summaries like this, let me know which book you'd like me to cover next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.